Hello, everybody. Uh, yeah, I decided I'd give this a go. So I've been writing a lot of poetry in the last 9 months, and um, yeah, and I feel like I've just been living a lot of my life, not sharing much of what I know and what I've learnt, and not talking much about what my insights are, and um, yeah, and standing up for the truth and the love of the human spirit, um, which I feel is very important at this time because of what we're all going through with the world falling apart and so on. So yeah, I'm just going to do that in my own way and read some poetry and then talk a bit about it. The first poem I'm going to share is called Sacred Resistance, and it's one I wrote on my birthday earlier this year because um, because of feeling an incredible amount of internal resistance. And yeah, here we go. Share this. Hope you're all doing at least okay out there, and if you see this, I hope you enjoy it. Sacred Resistance. How did I not know your divinity? How did I not know that your damming of the flow was an act of grace and compassion for us mere mortal creatures, holding in place the fragile symmetry of our humanity? Sacred Resistance. How did I not know you were a jewel in the set of God's altar tools, preventing his children from being thrust so far forward into transformation that only combustion or destruction could occur, something I felt very close to numerous times in my life. When I was younger and ambitiously spiritual, transforming my lead into gold with ruthless accuracy, discipline, and untold rites of transformation, I could not accept your will to slow me down, Sacred Resistance. You were there, hidden in plain sight, but I saw you as horrible resistance, with the great openings and closings on the path of becoming, yet I felt you were against me, an enemy soul to my emergent, joyful, and often manic self. Sacred Resistance, you are among the many mysteries I couldn't comprehend or wouldn't turn my eye to, the myriad of phenomena that were dark or hidden or humble. In a world of mountain heights and capitalist bullshit and blazing forward-moving glory, you couldn't be worshipped on the altar of progress. And so I missed you, relegated the sacredness of your principle to the disowned pile of all I wish to deny. Sorry, about the about the nature of this life. Sacred Resistance, I now humbly bow before you and let you be my guru and guide, for I need to learn to accept life's challenges and winding uncertainties. For in so doing, I may embrace the leaps of forward-moving fate as well as falling into the worlds of old resistances. Instead of fighting the current, I see now that they naturally emerge out of the terrain, that is, the worlds of old resistances, the faces they wear, the ghosts of who we've been and are moving away from. They naturally emerge out of the terrain, yearning to be met with an essential non-judgmental presence of a humbled adult witness in service to love. I bow before you and ask to be such a witness. So that was Sacred Resistance by me. Let's just take a breath if you're watching. Like, I forgot to do the kind of thing I usually do, which is let's just take a breath Feel where we are in space. Listen to the sounds around you. Feel the weight of wherever you're sitting or lying. Yeah, just become present. Let go of the stresses of the modern world. So this poem was about something within the transformational process. Now, for me, I I never wanted to transform a lot. What I wanted was to be normal, like the other people around me, and be able to get away with eating junk food and drinking beer. And I wanted to probably play lots of computer games and probably be an IT guy and do all the things that people did where I grew up. But that wasn't to be the case. I found myself, um, that I couldn't handle what normal people could, and I was getting more and more sick, even though I was quite young, in my mid to late teens. So I ended up training quite intensively at the time for about 3 years to become a healer, and we were constantly doing healing, and began to transform at a very swift rate in my early 20s, late teens. And so the speed of that hasn't ever really slowed down for me, because I think that I was always trying to transform away from being chronically sick. And it's reached a point now where that um, that's still there, but I'm more out of it than I am in it. So it's one of the reasons I'm sharing this. But what I've come to understand, because there's transformation that's always been going on in my life deeply, that I haven't been very good at navigating it, in the sense that there were certain tendencies both in my personality and in the culture that were preventing me being fully accepting of how it occurs in this earthly reality and what factors are at play within that. Which is why I wrote this poem, and I called Resistance Sacred. That poem was about me bowing to the resistant factors within transformation. So, in a sense, it's not even resistance, it's actually inertia. It's almost physics. It's like, if whenever we're inspired and we feel awake and aware, and we can step back and see things for what they are in our life, or feel really buoyant about where we're moving to, how we're going to change things that we're going to achieve, there's like something comes alive in us and starts to move us to that point. And which is great, like the experience of being inspired and having a new desire and having something to look forward to. They're all really positive things. But if we're here and we're going to move to here, I'll put this hand higher, that means that everything that's behind this line of, say, call it progress, anything that's in the way, the aspects of self that don't align with this new position, will arise as inertia as you move forward. So you'll find yourself, you might feel amazing one day, and you get all this stuff done, you feel this fresh new energy, Then the next day, maybe, ooh, you feel heavy, you feel terrible. That's not a bad thing. You haven't done anything wrong. You've probably done a lot right. The resistances and inertia of the past aspects of self that don't line with that vision of where you're going arise to be met. And this is something spiritual teachers have been, my teachers have been telling me for years, and I had a lot of trouble accepting because I've been very unwell, because life's been painful, and I've been in a situation where I've been forced to transform, yet when I transform there's consequences. So coming out of that for me was a lot about being less traditionally masculine towards myself. Certainly haven't been traditionally masculine to other people, but I found that I'd internalized harsh ways of relating to myself, which were keeping me pushing myself too far forward. And then when the emotional stuff would come up, I'd get caught up in it like it was a storm, and not be able to let it be there, to give it space and go, oh yeah, it's okay, that's just life doing its thing, send it some love or whatever, it'll sort itself out. That's the position of this poem, is to be like, inertia and resistance is sacred, darkness in the psyche is sacred. The darkness in the psyche has all of these ghosts in it, call them, which are from past experiences where love hasn't reigned supreme, shall we say, in my life. Say I felt wounded or hurt or whatever it was. So yeah, that's the Sacred Resistance poem, and yeah, let me know what you reckon about all of that. Like, it's something that's not talked about enough in spiritual circles in the West, because it inevitably happens. Anytime you're moving to a new place, the old places will arise to dissolve, but they don't just go away on their own. They dissolve through you, through your compassion, through you making space, through you welcoming them in, not like a mother to a child, but more like an observer, more like somebody who can be mature with them. That's what I'm trying to say. Like in that poem, they want I'll refer back to this. Instead of fighting the current of resistances, I see now that these ghosts from within the cracks of the psyche, naturally emerge out of the terrain, my life, yearning to be met with an essential non-judgmental presence. That's what I'm talking about. Something that is mature and adult and can stand strong within life's craziness and ever-moving, changing weather, of a humbled adult witness in service to love, which is us being adult and mature, being in service to love. It looks different to a child in joy and wonder experiencing an exalted high moment. It's more objective. Alright, so I hope you can all hear me okay. It's very windy here. I'm going to choose another poem to read. I was going to read one about being ill, but I don't think, it doesn't seem to be right. Yeah, I'll read this one. This other one, which I can't remember the name of. Um, anyway. This is one about Earth connection, really, which is great. It's one of the things I love to do the most. I was a healer since I was 20, for a couple of decades now, and I did a lot of different things, um, different kinds of healing, and Earth connection therapy that I do now is the best. Yeah, connects you straight to the earth. But a part of getting better has been connecting to my own body properly, and a part of that is when it started to actually happen properly for me. It was a shock because it was quite the shock because it was a paradigm shift. I didn't realize. I thought, oh, I've been out of culture. I haven't done what everyone else does. I haven't been able to have a full-time job. I've been unemployed in the shadows trying to get better. I don't have children. I don't have a mortgage. I'm so alternative. I'm not going to have all the ideas that everyone else does stuck in their psyches. I'm not that much of a Western person. I won't go on. You get the picture. But as the shift happened, I became aware just how programmed I was into our Western culture, Australian culture's way of being and thinking. And one of the reasons I want to read this is because it could be construed as a perceptual prison, just in the sense of not to say you're bad if you think a certain way, but more along in the sense that it's very mechanistic, it believes that there's only matter. That's what our culture says. There's no spiritual side, there's no energy isn't alive, and there's no energy world, there's no spiritual world, it's just matter. That's all. That's one of the things. And that you can only make anything happen and do anything positive by going in a straight line, like a road. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'll read the poem. Let it speak for itself. I can't remember what I called this one, but anyway, I'll just go for it. I got raised in a paradigm that was all straight lines, as if nature had been etched by a scalpel, by some clinical physician in the sky. Somehow, I believed this was the reality into which I was born. It took me a long time to notice, decades. I may have thought myself a man, but the sexual charge I felt toward the fairer sex only revealed a deeper mystery in the fullness of time. The exultant curves, the bosom echoing the cosmic mother, and the womb temple at whose altar I wished to worship, all held the tales of a deeper mystery. For where in nature did we find straight lines? Take a walk in the forest, visit a waterfall. Do you see the hand of the cold, calculated clinical physician, of his scalpel etching neat lines from the skies? Or do you see something other? A profound, shining, sensuous, feminine deep dance whose swirling center is a mystery to which even history must bow. All her currents, ever present, twin spiraling, yet reaching back with invisible omnipresent hands to regraft the future that we see. Yet in actuality, it is her, an ever-present becoming. talking about the planet here, calling the planet a great giant woman, the goddess. This golden shining rainbow spiral oceanic dance which eludes words, but yet I will try, is in fact the reality into which I was born. Who would have thought, surrounded by shopping malls and promises of Santa Claus, computers, skip bins, Facebook, mobile phones and cars, the safe human world that's become a toxic misery to so many of us and our primal cellular makeup. Who would have thought that the great she remains beneath it all? And she is begging right now and asking us to reclaim her within this modern mess, meaning to reclaim the knowing that we are not separate from her by understanding or feeling the spiraling power of our blood and our cells. That's what I'm talking about. That's what happened to me. To reclaim her within what might be considered an existential test, to see if you can rise above the noise, the drama, and the symptomatic pimple popping of humankind's accumulated karmic detritus, to actually rest into her bosom once more, to find that essential clause at the bottom of all structural law. Yet be warned, she is raw, she is wild, she'll ask everything of you, and yet hold you each step of the way. This I am learning, and this is my prayer for both myself and you today. Progress is a god who lives in a carriage, a great 7-storied golden carriage at the end of a vast train that's so long it could cover half the globe. Progress is the god of the train. And our culture is a runaway, our Western colonial culture is a runaway train heading very swiftly towards an apocalyptic cliff in a remarkable straight line. So, yeah. That's what that poem was about. And how nature is everything that is not that. Nature spirals. Nature is curved. Nature is emergent in the moment. Nature is mysterious. All of us are total one-off products of diversity, of the combination of male and female elements and fertility and emergent diversity creating new forms. That's what nature is. Nature is alive, nature is wild, nature is raw, nature is unforgiving, but nature is also very nurturing and abundant and giving, despite all that our species is apparently taking from her. So yeah, that's the spirit of that poem, which I do recall is called The Great She, and it's up there on YouTube and Facebook somewhere. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed the show. I will be doing this again, and yeah, take care, and much love to you all. Goodbye.